Yo, what is going on, boys? This video is going to be how you can trade meme coins if you're on a low portfolio. So let's say you're starting out with zero point 0.5 SOL or 1 SOL and you want to run that up to 5, 10 SOL and essentially just get into bigger size plays so you can eventually scale up to the goals that you want. This is going to help you out. Just before I dive into the actual strategy that I use to, run it out, if you need a trading platform, I'm going to leave a link for Axiom in the description where you could save your maxing out on fees. It's a VIP link. And also, if you're just new to trading meme coins in general and you want a full free course, in the description, I have my course and my free Discord to help you out, basically walking you through A to Z on how to trade meme coins. Without further ado, let's start right into the video. Trading meme coins on a low port can be extremely frustrating if you don't particularly have the correct strategies because, especially on YouTube, a lot of people are going to tell you to focus on one thing and then, someone else is going to tell you to focus on another thing. But the strategy I'm going to share here has like worked for me. This is how I turned my zero point 0.5 Solana, literally $100 into my first like $5,000. And it's firstly only focusing on the migrate tab. Like very rarely when I had a low portfolio did I focus on any sort of new pairs or like meme coins that just came out or even meme coins that were like in the mid range, like 30 to 40K. I only focused on meme coins that literally just migrated and were like going to, comp and things of that nature. That's the only thing I focused on. And I'm going to give you guys a certain criteria on like what makes a meme coin good to actually like go ahead and buy, what buy amount you should have depending on your portfolio and things of that nature. So let's say, for example, you had like zero point 0.5 SOL, right? You're risking zero point 0.1 per trade with a zero point 0.5 SOL port. And if your port is 1 SOL, you should be risking zero point 0.2 to 0.25, okay? In terms of like knowing what to buy in the library section, there's a tool called Solana Early Trending, which I'm going to dive into in a second here, to know which meme coins are most likely going to pump and what to look out for in terms of like criteria of what makes it a good meme coin to actually end up buying. Solana Early Trending is a Telegram group that essentially calls out like, daily calls, but only on migrated tokens. So it only calls out calls on tokens that are migrated, above 50K market cap, depending on the price of Solana. And the reason why you want to use Solana early trending is because they're basically like the win rate for Solana early trending is extremely high. So for tokens that have gone above 50% that they called is literally been 50%. And they called out 154 tokens within the past 24 hours. And if you can look here, the average win if you enter these tokens that are called is 3.8x. They called 89 2x's, for 5x's they called 32. They even called a 200x, okay? So this Telegram group slash like thought that, detects the algorithm is really, really, really good. But you don't just want to blindly like buy anything that gets called on here because there will be obviously, coins that don't end up running, but most of them do. And I'm going to show you the criteria that you're going to look for when Solana early trending ends up, calling a token. Solana early trending ends up calling a token. Firstly, make sure it is migrated. I know I said before only calls migrated tokens, but people can also pay for Solana early trending. So, like as an example, this one you can tell is paid because if you look at the market cap, you can see it's only at 7,000. So you definitely don't want to be buying something like this because you don't know what the intentions are behind this coin, and it can be very risky because it's a new pair, it's just not migrated yet. So if you see something being called, make sure it's at like above like 30K market cap at least, and it's migrated and things of that nature. And what I would do is essentially just cancel on early trending. And if I seen something that was good being called, I'll just click on chart, and then it's gonna take you to this link. You don't have to open it. Just click like the last part. It's gonna like copy the CA. Just click on select the text, and I'll go back into Axiom and just open the chart. First thing you want to do is just open the chart and make sure it is not a rug. So as you can see, this is a bad call right here on Solana trending. This coin just went straight to zero. It's a rug. So this is an example that's not going to call everything, great 9 times out of 10. That's why I say you always want to copy the CA and look at the chart. You don't just want to blindly ape. But as an example, let's go look at another one here. If there's nothing being called, you're just gonna have to sit on your hands. That's really how it is with this game, especially if you're on the low portfolio. You don't just want to like try to blindly egg stuff. You're gonna have to be really patient. As you can see on this token, it called like literally a couple minutes ago, it did what, a 2x. And if we go to check it out right now, it's like still pumping. It's at a 240k market cap. So let's say we did end up like catching this token when Solana early trending first called it at like 97k, right? And we opened the chart, everything's looking good, volume. So firstly, I would recommend going on not the 1 second chart, but at least like the 15-second chart, just so you can get a gist on what the talks and the bonds were for the coin. So as you can see, obviously the ATH or all-time high for this coin is like around like 260-ish, and it's still going. And it looks like it found kind of this support area just a little teeny tiny bit, just like gradually below or gradually above 100k, right? If you see something like this in Solana early trending calls it, there's usually a dump that happens, and you want to wait for that dump. You never want to top blast, right? So if I seen this coin at 90k, which was around like right here on Solana early trending called it kind of had this consolidation area, and it dumped a little bit below 90k. It went to around like 82-ish k on this slight dump, which is something you could have entered for. And the selling strategy you want to have, like when you're entering these tokens, is taking profits as soon as possible. Like you want to be taking like 10, 15, $20 profits quickly, especially if you're aping point 0.1 SOL. You want to be selling for 2x in one click immediately and rotating. You don't want to be holding something for long, because your gains matter. You cannot afford to take a loss. And obviously, taking the loss is like normal. You are going to have some losses. So long early trending isn't going to hit all the time. But you always want to cut your losses quickly, and you want to take your profits quickly as well. You want to be a G when you have a low portfolio. So literally, you just want to get in and out for a quick scalp. So you could have entered on this dip right here at 82k, waited for that massive pump when some nice KOL bought this pump up to like almost 200k from this single candle, just because some KOLs got in, and you could have sold easily right there for some profit, and just gotten out and went back to close. Seeing if you like saw anything good, waited for it to be called in Solana returning, and just sat on your hands and wait. So essentially, the strategy is to just sit and wait, ape 0.1 or 0.25 SOL on that dip after Solana early trending calls the token, and quickly scout for 30% gains, 50% gains, 100% gains, getting out and moving on to the next coin. And this type of chart formation where it has like a consolidation and a slight dump usually always happens on Solana early trending coins that get called that end up running. So you can always do like research on them and essentially get in on that dip. Just a couple other things to keep in mind to like see if something's a good token or not. If it fits like the meta or the current like narrative that's going on. So there's a lot of coins right now running that are like this token or that token. This one was like, this is the greatest token ever created. There's been a couple runners today, or like this token will make millionaires or whatever, like buying $1 of this token. So this does fit the meta. If it's narrative is cool, it's getting volume obviously, and it's calling Solana returning, and it had that chart formation to where it pumped, it had a slight consolidation, slight dump, and that's when you want to get in for like a quick scalp. For another example, just to prove that the chart formation on Solana or trending coins like always usually dump, it called a 20x on send it, right? And as you can see, it migrated around like right here. Solana or trending called it at 60k. Migrated here, and it instantly dumped. So Solana or trending called it at 60k around here. Boom, boom. It dumped all the way down to like 40k. So if you got in on this 40k dip, that would have been gnarly, because this coin obviously ended up running to millions market cap. But if you ended up top blasting at 60k when Solana early trending called it, you would have been down like 30-40% right off the bat. So you always want to wait for that dunk. The only time you should be buying in the consolidation zone is if you strongly believe that it's like the best narrative you've ever seen, and it's going to break out. You don't mind being down for a little bit. Also make an exception for like, let's say you buy 0.25 or like 0.1, and you think the coin is going to go higher. At least take out initials at a 2x and let the rest ride, just so you can secure your profit. But my recommendation is to usually, sell everything in one click, because yeah, it's gonna suck obviously when you look at the coin and it's like at a nil or whatever. But one thing I kind of learned is that there's so many other coins like coming out Solana early trending is always calling coins, and honestly, there's a new runner every single day. So missing out on one thing isn't the end of the world. So you're also gonna have to like develop your mindset in a sense to be like, all right, I'm okay with selling for 50% to X when I know this coin could potentially, you know, die 10x, 20x, whatever. Because just being on a low floor, you just have to G. You cannot afford to round trick your gains and let it go to zero. It just is what it is. When you have the bigger portfolio, you can hold things for a little bit longer, ride it out, but you had to destroy and nuke charts if you're on a low portfolio. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini video. Again, if you need a trading platform, I'm going to leave the link down below for Axion. That's just the best trading platform out right now. Again, you can save on fees using that link. If you need a free course or Discord for questions, go ahead and join that for free in the description. We have a bunch of other tutorials to help you out. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys later.